So you go to sit down to do your spell or ritual, your visualization session, only to get up from that session more distracted, more confused, and more frustrated. Well, in this video, Papa Shanquito is going to show you how to silence your analytical, critical mind. Yes, the inner player hater today. So first of all, how do you know if you need this particular technique? Well, I can say it like this. If you feel that you really need the particular outcome that you are doing the spell, ritual, or visualization technique for, you can use this in other contexts. But the more you want something, you are automatically setting up a counteractive force. Have you ever heard the saying, an action automatically has an equal and opposite reaction? Well, we're talking about paradox here. We're not going to go too much into that. But this technique I call the negligent parent, okay? And it's going to allow you, the whole purpose of this technique is to be able to gain a sense of peace of mind. You see, because a lot of times when you are trying to manifest under duress, under stress, part of that stress, a big part of it, is your conscious mind, your analytical mind, your player hater mind, hates not knowing an answer. It hates loose ends. So when it has a what if this, what happens if that, and you don't have an answer for it, it's going to show its ass. Okay? So follow along with me, and I'm going to show you exactly a technique that I have perfected on how to get around that. Okay? Now, what I'm going to tell you is probably going to sound counterintuitive. We all have heard that when you establish an intent that you are going to externalize, materialize, manifest, realize, that you must be faithful to it. Okay? And if you're doubting and you have fears, then more than likely there's a part of you that's not being faithful to it. But I do have good news for you. You see, whenever you go to stretch yourself and step into the unknown and create something new, those things are automatically going to come up. Okay? So there's not only the doubt and the fears, there's also the guilt one may have around all this shit that just creates a clusterfuck inside of you. And your critical mind, your analytical mind, is like a little child and wants to throw a fucking tantrum. Hence the negligent parent technique, okay? So essentially what we're going to do here is give our little inner bastard an iPad and some Doritos and tell them to go sit the fuck over there while we do our work, okay? So you have your intention. You have your goal, whatever you want to call it, okay? What I want you to do, especially if this is a situation where maybe there's a time deadline, maybe there's, something going on where it's like your fight or flight is kicking in. You're like, I need this, okay? So the way that we give this little bastard, okay? The way you give your little bastard the iPad and the pack of Doritos is like this. You have your intention, you have your goal. You know what you feel at this time needs to be done or that you want to be done, all right? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to say to yourself, worst case scenario, if this doesn't happen, what can I do? For example, Okay, let's say you feel like you really need this job. Okay, so worst case scenario, what happens if I don't get this job? Well, this is just an example. Well, I'll fucking go to Manpower, and I'll go to Labor Ready, and I'll go cut grass or whatever, but I'm going to make it through, right? It doesn't really matter as long as it's something that maybe even realistically that you could do, okay? Now, some would say, Shango, but that's like having a plan B. And I heard that if you have a plan B, that you're planning to fail. No. Shh. No. That's not what we're doing here, okay? Because invariably, I know, because I'm in your head, I'm in here, anime, okay? When you're doing your ritual, there's that, well, what if, right? We're going to use this other quote unquote plan B, the iPad and the pack of Doritos, to give to that, okay? Now here's kind of the trick. In whatever way, you do need to be able to be cool with that. Okay? That doesn't mean that that's going to happen because we're not focusing on that. It's going to free us up to allow us to continue to focus in peace or with more peace. We're going to tip the scale into what we are truly manifesting. So we're just using that as a tool, as a distraction. Okay? Now, some people say, well, this is true though. Those doubts and fears are coming up actually because they want to leave. And the thing is, whenever you hear about letting go, what you are actually talking about is actually being able to accept these doubts, these fears, and not resist them, because they do come with uncomfortable feelings, which is why automatically you want to resist them. You want to push them down. You want to suppress them. Go back into your cave. You know what I'm saying? But in the act of acceptance, they'll come up and they'll leave, okay, on their own, allowing for situations and things to go a whole lot smoother. But more than the situations, allowing the process to be smoother inside of your sweet walls, okay, inside of you, all right? So you have your intention, you come up with worst case scenario. What happens if this or that happens? What happens if this just does not come through, right? This is your conscious mind. Blah, blah, blah. Well, what happens, yo? What do you want to do, man? What do you want to do, right? I'm going to do this, and that. Okay? And I will still go for that. Okay? But in the meantime, between time, if I have to bust a move, I'm going to do this, or that. All right? So when you go to sit down to do your ritual, to do your spell, to do your visualization technique, and that shit comes up, now you have an answer. Because what happens when you don't have an answer, your mind starts doing the buffer. I call it the buffer, okay? Just like when your phone has shitty signal, you know what I'm saying? And you go to click on something and it just goes around and around like this. Your mind does this until you give it something to satisfy it, as far as your conscious mind. Okay, that way you can work with the real big dog, your unconscious mind. Okay, so once again, you have your intention, you come up with a plan B that you would do if this doesn't come through, or if it doesn't come through when you feel you need it. And that's another thing you need to do, is also relax on your expectation. But I get it. It's all a process. This is a step in that process. This is a step that's going to help you to have a sense of peace. You'll know when you find an answer, because you will feel a little bit of a release, like, well, it isn't what I prefer, but but once again, we're not going to focus on the plan B. And essentially, fuck the plan B, right? But you'll know, because you're just like, hey, whatever. It allows you to just basically throw your hands up and be like, okay, whatever. Like, so it helps you to reach that state of surrender. You are mind fucking yourself. Okay? You're mind fucking yourself. You need to get your stroke on that mind, okay? Because your mind will get that stroke on you. And that's probably what's been happening, okay? So by doing this, you have an answer. when that what if. You may need to do this several times, okay? So what this may look like is you go to sit down. First of all, you start relaxing. You relax that beast of yours, the body, so you can access your subconscious mind and get into the proper brainwave state where this critical factor starts to go to sleep. That way you can, just slip that in. You know what I'm saying? Just slip that in like the way you want to, right? But in that process, sometimes it wants to wake up. But what if, hey, shut up, here. Take the iPad, go over there. All right? Daddy's working here, okay? Daddy's working. He's putting in some serious work. So just go over there. Watch your fucking iPad. Eat your Doritos. And leave me be, okay? So you take that for a test drive. And hey, like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And by the way, share this information. Somebody could benefit from this. Don't be a greedy bitch, okay? Somebody, be a hero, all right? Be a hero. Be an ISIS. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could benefit from this, all right? So share this video. This is Shango Ray, and I'll see you on the next one.